saying we're live right now,
Sure we are then.
but my preview is saying and there's an error occurred. So we may be live right now. We may not be. Let me check on my phone.
Yeah, it looks like we are.
Okay. All right. We are live right now. This is going to be a little confusing. Is it live? We're live? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we are live. We're doing some lineup questions. If you've got them, please ask away in the chat. First off, hold on. Let me backtrack here. Let me reel it back. It's Sunday morning. I'm still waking up. I got my car. I know you guys. Good morning, Travis. Good morning to you. Good morning to Whisper Nation. Happy Sunday, man.
Happy Sunday, brother. We've got good news tweets from Adam Schefter this morning. No new positive cases for COVID-19. And so that means it's time to play some football today. Gonna get football today. We got 2 games tomorrow, doubleheader tomorrow. And yeah, we've got 9 early games and 2 afternoon games.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little weird. It's gonna be a little wild. And then like the other thing is like that Kansas City game is not tomorrow night. It starts at like 2. Well, at least 2 in Arizona. So it's like much earlier.
I think the idea was to not have to cross over viewership, you know? They want to be able to double head it, you know?
Yeah,
they want to be able to have, because the last time they did the
like overlaid and like
dude, you know,
it was
I'm a pro. I have multiple TV setup. You know this. Like that's how
me
we
too.
get down.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
But you know, some people might not have had that, and so they might have been struggling watching those. So
that's why. Yeah, it was funny because the entire stream on CBS on that game was like, make sure you tune in tonight. And it was like going on. It was like the game was actually on. It was like, make sure you tune into Monday Night Football on ESPN. And I'm like, I'm trying to finish this Kansas City game. I need my guys to go off in this game.
Yeah, no joke.
Travis, I don't see any. I don't know if comments are coming through or not. I haven't seen any.
Nothing yet. Okay. I'll keep an eye on it. We've got 3 watching, 2 likes. If you're in here, go ahead and give us a like, and we'll keep rolling through some of the news here. We've got Dalvin Cook is out today, but Tom Pelissero from on Twitter said that his source is 99.999% chance that Cook will return in week 8. Obviously, the Vikings have a week 7 bye, and they'll face the Packers then. I think that's what they were doing, was looking ahead to the Packers game after the bye, saying, look, we can get Madison in here, but we want to make sure we have Cook ready for that divisional battle. And it looks like Tom Pelissero also reporting that the Broncos aren't going to discipline Melvin Gordon here after he was charged with a DUI earlier this week.
I didn't expect that, but the league still will. I was listening to this morning on ESPN. The league will still take action in this. Expect Melvin Gordon to miss 3 games in the new collective bargaining agreement. It said that it was a 3-game suspension if you got a DUI. So when that suspension will hit Melvin Gordon, that is not clear. The NFL is doing its due diligence on the situation. So I would expect that to be coming down within the next few weeks. Maybe he'll play next week, but then the following weeks he could be out. So if you have Phillip Lindsay, or if Phillip Lindsay is still somehow on your waiver wire, first of all, he is starting today. So if you need a running back, go and get Phillip Lindsay. And then, coming down this stretch towards the playoffs, this race for the playoffs, look, we got bye weeks coming up. You've got endurance things. More injuries are going to happen. And so if you can, even right now, go out and get Phillip Lindsay for the cheap, you're going to be able to start him for at least 3 weeks as a starter. Sure, they might get Royce Freeman involved in that a little bit more as well, but I expect Phillip Lindsay to get the bulk of the carries.
Yeah, I do think Freeman, like in deep leagues, is worth a stash, depending on how long we think that this suspension could be. Like, they could actually use Freeman at the goal line, so he could be the goal line back, the red zone back. And Freeman in Oregon, look, Royce Freeman, I know hasn't been great in the NFL, but he was a really productive back in college, doing everything. Like he could catch the ball and run the ball. So just have to see how they're going to use Royce Freeman here with Melvin Gordon out, and if there is a looming suspension. I kind of like Freeman as a little stash, especially how thirsty some leagues are, for the running back position here. So we do have our first question of the day here, Johnny. We've got Jen. Just want to say what's up, Jen. Thanks for
Good
watching,
morning.
man. In a full PPR, should I start Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb, or Chase Claypool? I mean, I think it's hard to go away from CeeDee Lamb, but I actually think Chase Claypool's in a really nice spot. Deontay Johnson out. I think I actually would lean Claypool today.
I wouldn't. I don't think that's a bad start. I wouldn't. I would still lean CD just because he does play in that slot role. Arizona has been susceptible to big plays because the way that they say the way that they play or the way the defense is structured, according if you ask Patrick Peterson, that's what his excuse is. Oh, that's how our play style replicates, giving more cushion to the wide receivers, even though Vance Joseph normally is like a on the ball or on the corner pressure kind of guy. So, take that for what it's worth. But the Arizona Cardinals defense has been giving up monster days. I would still go with Lamb because he's just so talented. But Claypool is a very, very nice start. So I do think that either way, you are going to be happy with the production today. What's up, Darius Rice? Good morning.
Darius Rice back in it. Austin Hill back in it. Guys, thank you for joining. If everybody could hit a like on their way in. We're just waking up. We're getting things rocking and rolling here for Whisper Nation. Let's see here. Darius Rice says, start DJ Shark or Tim Patrick, wide receiver 2 PPR, Johnny.
So DJ Chark is officially active. I was actually reaching out to Summy this morning to kind of get a gauge on this because I won't lie to you. I do roster DJ Chark on a lot of rosters, and so in some cases, I'm having to start him this week. Summy was not as confident in starting Chark. He was encouraging to sit him if you can, which I would give that advice as well. But the matchup is pretty juicy against Detroit. So if it is you don't have a better option on your bench, he is suiting up. He is playing. In this case, with Tim Patrick, I would still start Chark because Patrick will be going against New England. Not exactly sure who he will be lined up against. I'm not sure where the Pats are going to be lining up quite yet. But I just don't like that matchup either way for Tim Patrick. So I would go Chark still in this case.
I would agree with that one. Austin Hill says Clyde or Sanders full point PPR. Well, Sanders got the tough matchup against Baltimore. Clyde could be used a whole lot more in the passing game, I think, in this one in a shootout. Mm-hmm. I'd be leaning Clyde here. This may be your last chance to get full usage out of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, so you might as well roll it out there. So I think I would be comfortable with Clyde on that one. Let's see. Patrick Roach, welcome in. Good morning. Thanks for joining. He says Rams D or Dolphins D. Rams playing the Niners. And the Dolphins are playing the Jets. I love to stream here, but the Rams D has been pretty solid. It's pretty high over under though. I just don't know if I trust what's going on in San Fran. Like they keep rotating these QBs in. They've looked kind of like they've got that Super Bowl hangover. But it is in San Fran. Give me the Dolphins. I think it's a safe play to stream the Dolphins D here against the Jets. Like Joe Flacco is no longer elite, so let's go with the Dolphins D here.
Yeah, I would probably go with the Dolphins on this one. I do think the Rams D is a good play this week as well. But man, yeah, anytime you get to go against elite Joe Flacco, man, I would do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited for the Chiefs to play him. Chiefs defense to play him, I believe, next week. Or the week after, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now.
Let's see. So, Johnny, big news out of Philly is Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson both inactive this week. That means Travis Fulgham stepping into that, number one role because they don't have much else, So we know it's a tough matchup. They've got two great corners there in Marlon Humphries and Marcus Peters, and so you're kind of hesitant. Your expectations aren't high, but I love putting Fulgham in the lineup here just based on pure volume alone. I think you're going to get a lot of good usage out of him.
For sure.
I'm TJB says Juju or Will Fuller. Give me Will Fuller here. Juju has just not – his ADOT's really low this year. He hasn't got the volume and targets that we'd like to see. And Will Fuller has, the one disappearing week, and then other than that, he's been solid for you pretty much every week.
Yeah.
Darius Rice is asking, better rest of season, stash Jamal Williams or MVS? What do you say there, Johnny? Which is the better staff?
I would probably go MVS. Just because I'm not even – I mean, I do know that Williams he's looked pretty good. All reports, Travis, from you are indicating Jamal Williams has been great. The coaching staff likes him. I do wonder as well, like, if anything were to happen to Aaron Jones, if they wouldn't be like, all right, let's get the rookie now in here and see what he can really do and kind of just to – show people a little bit,
point.
but I think MVS is gaining the trust of Aaron Rodgers, and I think he has big play potential.
Injury helps.
Yeah,
the Lazard injury helps MVS to kind of still have a roll down the stretch. So yeah, I would go with that. More upside there. Brett Johnson in here asking, will Mike Davis be able to keep it up? Yeah, for as long as CMC is out, I think that he continues to ball out. So this is a tougher matchup against the Bears, but they've actually given up. I mean, they just gave up 100 yards to Ronald Jones, so I think there's room for Mike Davis there. Plus, it's a sneaky revenge game. Mike Davis used to play for the Bears,
that's
so it
true.
is
that is very, very true.
Prati Jimmel says Zach Ertz or Hawkinson half-point PPR. Give me Hawkinson. I want. If I can get away from starting Zach Ertz, I am, because I just think that he is getting double teamed, as Johnny has astutely pointed out. He's falling to the ground as soon as he catches it. He just doesn't look like the Zach Ertz that we're used to. And I just think that you've got Hawkinson there, who's ascending off of a bye, should be fully healthy now. He's watched his snap rate go up each and every week.
I think what you're
Darius
going
Rice,
just a bit of advice for Zach Ertz, because we were having a good discussion on our podcast about Zach Ertz and all that. I think a good option is once the receivers do come back for Philly, which it's seeming like next week or the following week, and Zach Ertz kind of goes off because he'll go back to single coverage, all that stuff, and then I would then look to sell him high at that point and be like, try to get a guy out from under him and make the argument, oh look, he's back and all this stuff. But until then, it's gonna be difficult to do anything with Zach Ertz because it's not looking good over there.
Yeah. So Darius Rice, better rest of season stash, Chase Edmonds or Jamal Williams? Once again, I think it's Chase Edmonds here over Jamal Williams. Look, I think Jamal Williams is a decent handcuff. I kind of tend to lean against Johnny was saying there. I think Jamal Williams would be a really huge asset for this offense if Jones went down, but Chase Edmonds is now making the case to get more work in that Cardinals offense, and he is the passing down back now. Right. He is completely.
He can be a flex option right now. That's what's good,
and that's what you like to see. So Edmonds is a flex option right now with RB1 upside. Should anything happen to Drake? Should they bench Drake? Anything like that? Brett Johnson wants to get your thoughts, Johnny, on Ronald Jones and the Tampa Bay running game.
I don't think he wants my thoughts. He probably wants your thought. My thoughts are that Ronald Jones will get heavily used today, most likely. It's not confirmed yet whether
it's no secret that the way to beat the Green Bay Packers is to run the ball on them.
Yeah,
I think that Arians knows that. Like my grandma knows that. Like that's what's going to happen here. Like they're going to run on him. And Leonard Fournette is battling. He's dinged up. Is he even going to play in this today?
I'm not even sure if he's going to play. But I will say that once again, I'll reaffirm, like down the stretch, I do think because Ronald Jones has not been spectacular.
Active,
yeah, so like look, I understand on the box score, Ronald Jones getting over 100 rushing yards is significant. Sure, that's pretty impressive. But when you watch him play, he's leaving a lot of yards on the field because he's dropping balls or catching things and going down when he should stay upright. So I do believe the long-term down the stretch play is going to be the Leonard Fournette show, but you're going to continue using Ronald Jones until that indication is swung the other way, and I think it continues this week.
Strofe is in here from Strofe Sports. What's up, my guy?
What up?
He says Kenny Clark is back. That's a good point on the Packers defense. Still need to see it for a couple weeks. Need to get them back into a rhythm on that defensive front. I do think that Tampa will have some success against us running the ball today, though. We got to get some of these questions in here. So Curtis says DJ Shark or Devonta Freeman, half-point PPR.
I'm going to go Devonta Freeman here just because of the concern.
The injury kind of scares me with Shark. At least Devonta Freeman's going to get the workload in there. Go Crazy TV says Miles Sanders or Todd Gurley. What a world we're living in here, huh? I think Miles Sanders is the answer here. I love what Todd Gurley's been able to do. You definitely appreciate it if you took the chance and drafted him. But Miles Sanders is the whole Philadelphia offense for the most part. Ricky Blaze says New York Giants defense or Arizona. Oh, I'm taking the Giants defense. I think Dallas has too many ways to beat you. Even with Andy Dalton as quarterback, I think this is maybe the best supporting cast Andy Dalton's ever had.
And then the Cardinals just lost Chandler Jones, their best pass rusher. And we haven't been able to create any other pass rush besides him. So
Darius Rice says, will T.Y.'s fantasy year be resurrected this year? Unless they can go in and inject a new arm into Phillip Rivers, I just don't see how it's going to happen, Darius. I'm worried about my guy T.Y. I think it's pretty much a done, the toast's up, cigars out, it's over for him. Y'all gave me great advice last week. Appreciate it. EZ says, Madison or Montgomery, full point PPR. I'd be rolling Madison out here.
Really? I think
this is a hard one to pick, but I think Madison has the much better matchup. Now, I know Carolina was a great matchup, and they are the best matchup. But Montgomery hasn't, exactly excelled in great matchups this year.
I do understand that to an extent. One thing we've seen over the last couple of weeks, David Montgomery has taken over the pass-catching back role as well, so that's a significant boost. And check us out. I'll tell you why it's going to be David Montgomery and why you want to. Other than, and it really hurts to say this, other than Kenyon Drake, who was an absolute disappointment against Carolina, and you take that out, and Chase Edmonds on 8 carries was the RB19 still. Other than that week, every single week this year, Carolina has given up top 5 running back position to the opposing running back. So on every single week. So I think that there is a and the vast majority of those weeks, the running back was either running back 2 on the week or running back 1 on the week, 3 out of the 6 weeks so far. So I do think that there is a big a big chance today is Monty's breakout game, and he just has a mega day. He goes big. I think that David Montgomery could be the top 3 running back this week. I would definitely play him this week if I have him.
Yeah, I guess it's just at this point, Easy, I think you've got the right answer on either of those guys. I think
you can't really go wrong. You can't really go wrong
because Madison is going to get Dalvin Cook usage in the passing game as well, and Atlanta has just been a siphon on defense, and I just think that's the higher over-under here. That's your better shot to really get a monster game, in my opinion, just based on what Vegas thinks. But I don't think there's a wrong answer. Nathan Tan says flex Hollywood or Jonnu Smith. This is actually pretty tough.
I would probably I would go with Hollywood. I do think that I like their matchup first of all, and I do think that there is mega breakout game coming. I thought it was last week. We could have been off by just a week. I would go with Hollywood this week. Unless, hold on, here's what I will say with the side caveat. If you are supposed to be if it's a really close game or you think it'll be a close game, I'd probably go with Jonnu, because I know Jonu's going to get me like 8 fantasy, or if this is a PPR, he's going to get me 12 fantasy points. Whereas Hollywood Brown, he could have a floor game of 6, but his boom game is going to be a lot better than the boom game of Jonnu. So maybe if you're
going to have Slay on Marquise most likely, right? So I would think, in my opinion, I think the way that Baltimore gets it done today is going to be how every team's got it done, which is either the tight end or the slot receiver against Philly. And that means, for me, this is a Mark Andrews game, and I think they get up big using Mark Andrews, and I don't know that Marquise gets involved. So I'd actually go with the safer play, which I think is Jonnu here, focal point of his offense, or at least has been one of the focal points of his offense. And I'm feeling more confident in that. But I understand it's hard to bench Marquise Brown. He's a week winner. Like, that guy will win you a week if he goes off.
Yeah.
Elias says, Elias Giftopoulos, I think.
Yeah.
Jamison Crowder or AJ Brown flex PPR. You got to roll with AJ Brown here. Yeah. Although Jamison Crowder has been like one of the best PPR wide receivers. But you got to roll with AJ
Rashad
Brown.
Perriman is expected back. Yeah. So.
And it's Joe Flacco. The bottom could fall out at any minute.
Yeah.
Sarah Riley, thanks for joining, everybody. 13 watching, only 6 likes. If we get those rookie numbers up, get us some more likes in there. We love those thumbs up. Lets us know you're enjoying the channel. Sarah Riley says half-point PPR flex. Jefferson, Robbie Anderson, Robert Woods, David Johnson. This is a tough one. Half PPR flex. I think I would be rolling with David Johnson.
Yeah, I'm going to go David Johnson as well. You can pretty much guarantee his workload the most. His matchup is decent.
Although Justin Jefferson comes in a close second.
I know, with Atlanta, that's what I was like. I was like, oh, that's a really nice second. But then, yeah, I would go with David Johnson. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Hebsy Production says Brandon Cooks, Jerry Jeudy, Justin Jefferson, Jarvis Landry, DJ Moore, or Crowder pick 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're benching one of these guys. I would probably bench. I'd bench Landry.
I might actually, as surprising as it sounds, I might bench DJ Moore going against Chicago this week, who has given up 1 passing touchdown so far this year. And the one caveat to that is that, with the emergence there, and now DJ Moore somehow taking like that wide receiver 2 role, he could see the rookie corner for Chicago. That's the one upside. But I just think you're trying to reach for too many things at that point and rely on too many ifs instead of facts on what we know. And so I would sit DJ Moore out of this group, actually.
Matt Daly says, need to sit 1, full point PPR, Julio Jones, Jamison Crowder, Juju, or Cooper Kupp.
You sit 1.
I would probably sit Juju.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that in full point PPR, Jamison Crowder's been smashing. Juju's volume just isn't there. We talked about this a little bit earlier up. And I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game against San Fran. You usually get them over the middle. That's how you attack them. Summy pointed that out on Twitter this week. So that's something I would roll with there. I would sit Juju in this matchup.
I do want, before we get to our next thing real quick, I do want to say, if you are new to our channel and have not subscribed yet, please do hit the bell so you get notified anytime that we drop new content or go live, which we go live every Sunday and every Friday. And I think we're going to start doing Mondays, Travis, as wild as that sounds. I know.
Just doing them all.
We're just going to do it live. So
I'll have you talk to my agent. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm going to be able to work that much. But.
And we drop new content daily. So if you like fantasy football, like talking fantasy football, please hit that subscribe, hit that bell. All right, there's my spiel.
Let's see. Derpian250 says Deshaun Watson or Andy Dalton. Deshaun is athletic, but Andy has a big wide receiving core.
I'm going Watson.
I feel you, but there's no way you can sit Watson right now with that rushing upside. He's going to give you a floor every week. But Dalton's not a bad backup to have in this COVID situation. What's been going on? You want to stash somebody like that as your backup. Troy giving you a little bit of a hard time. Game time. He's saying you're acting like Dennis Gardick didn't break out.
Yeah,
2 sacks
right.
last week when Chandler Jones was out.
Hey, it was a good story. Hey, it was a good story. He was a special teamser that they threw in because they didn't have anybody else, and he did his work. Hey, I hope he does it again. I really do. That would be great as a Cardinals fan. I'm just not counting on it.
Easy says probably we'll just bench AJ Brown and start both Monty and Madison. I appreciate it. Oh,
yeah,
I think that's great.
Yeah,
I would. That's a great situation.
Yeah.
Although AJ Brown's, matchup against Houston is a good one too. But yes, I agree that you start those running backs. I don't want to dissuade you here.
Yeah.
C. Chav says half point PPR. We got Philip Lindsay, Jerry Jeudy, James White, or Robbie Anderson. Need one PPR wide receiver. Oh, okay. So
I'm going Philip Lindsay here.
Half PPR.
Philip Lindsay with no Melvin Gordon. First game back.
See Robbie Anderson locked up with Kyle Fuller.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So yeah, I wouldn't be messing with that. And then he says one PPR wide receiver, Ayuk or Damiere Byrd.
So this is kind of interesting. Damiere Byrd has been Cam Newton's #1 target. It's not Edelman or N'Keal Harry. He has a real nice rapport. It is a sneaky start for sure to go with Damiere Byrd, but with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel is back, and he played a lot more snaps last week. So I would actually go with Damiere Byrd here. Call me crazy.
Yeah, Ayuk is a guy that's kind of popped without Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. So we don't really know if Jimmy's going to look to Ayuk as much as the other quarterbacks have. So
yeah,
I don't mind that. Damian Harris or Preston Williams at flex full point PPR. Mike Smith asks, I'm going to be rolling with Preston Williams in the full PPR only because the Denver defense is actually pretty good against the run. We could see a situation where Bill knows that, because if I know it, Bill Belichick definitely knows it. And there's probably, a James White, Rex Burkhead game going on here as they try to get their backs in space. And I can't project any kind of usage in the passing game for Damian Harris, even though we think that's within his range of outcomes. I can't project that this week. So I'm giving you Preston Williams, who finally seemed to connect there with Ryan Fitzpatrick last week after shaking off some of his ACL injury. So Gliz asks, Shark or Juju, wide receiver 2. Johnny,
I would go.
A lot of Juju questions this week.
Yeah, I would go with. I would go with Juju on this case just because with Chark being banged up, if I have a pivot move and I can exercise that, like in this case, I would do that. And Juju still has upside. I know we're talking on a lot of these cases to start the other player over Juju. But I think this is a nice pivot move. I would personally, if it were me and I had this, I would love to make this pivot. So I would go with Juju in this case.
Juju on the beat. Okay, so we've got your boy Drew. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, we'll ask his and then I'll go back to the other one. Your boy Drew says Minshew, Brady, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan.
I'm going to go Brady here. I think that Brady.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that's at least the safest option as far as trusting him.
And he gets Chris Godwin back this week as well.
Yeah, it should be a nice GOAT showdown. One of my favorite games on the schedule this week. A gent opting out says CEH is probably going to have the game of his life and the top RB this week. He knows Le'Veon is going to bend. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I would just
okay, yeah.
I would just say I agree. I think CH is probably going to have a good game. I think this is one where he's probably going to have to go out and try and prove himself. But I just don't see a lot of upside for CH going forward after this game. Brett Zabo, who is my opponent in my league of record this week, and decided he had the audacity to come on this show and ask me a lineup question. Flex Edelman, New England, or Slayton, New York Giants, standard. So, Brett, I think for this particular question, I would actually roll with Edelman. If you look at what the Denver Broncos have given up to the wide receiver position, on average 33 or 35.5 points per game to that position. That's within the top 8 as far as opposing defenses. And then you look at Washington, and they're actually, who Slayton faces, they're actually in the bottom against wide receivers. So I would be rolling with Edelman. And I think we've seen Edelman kind of get to work with Cam so far this year. So I think you can kind of trust that.
Yeah.
Especially when we just talked about the run defense being, a strength for Denver. I got to think Bill knows that. They're going to throw a little bit more probably in this game because they did that, so to speak, with Seattle. When Seattle was strong against the run earlier in the year, they threw all over Seattle. I think they try to do something like that again here. Pranav says Dalton or Ryan, 6-point touchdown league. Johnny, this is a tough one because Matt Ryan has a pristine matchup. He's going to get Julio Jones back. And we've got Andy Dalton for the first time starting for the Dallas Cowboys. I am this makes me sick. I'm going to go with Matt Ryan here. I think that Matt Ryan has a bounce back game. I think he's had a couple bad games, and this one's in a dome. It's in Minnesota, but it's in a dome. They're going to be ready to rock and roll. It's the higher over-under. There's a lot of things working here in Ryan's favor.
Matt Ryan is the correct answer on paper. Absolutely. 100% that's where you should be going. Now, is there a chance that Dalton has a better game? There is that chance because Matt Ryan has been really weird this year. More weird than his normal weirdness on normal years. But you got this matchup is just it's the best. Literally.
Yeah. The best. Yeah. Your boy Drew says start 2. Boyd, Devontae Parker, Julio, Scary Terry, Claypool. Man, some great wide receivers here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Julio and Devontae Parker are my 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you're going to just really bank on Julio's stud status, and then Devontae Parker's been getting volume. A gent opting out says KC's defense or Dallas's defense?
Going Kansas City.
There's got to be something better on waivers for you, brother. These are going to be tough. But yeah, I guess I would go Kansas City too.
The one thing about Kansas City that I'll say is they're very opportunistic. They're a very opportunistic defense, and so this is going. What do we know about Josh Allen? The one thing he'll put up touchdowns for sure, but the one thing is he will also turn over the ball. I think there's a better chance that you'll get turnovers from Josh Allen than you will from knock on wood, but Kyler Murray and Dallas defense. So I would go with Kansas City over Dallas this week. But like Travis said, if you have a better option on the waiver, I would probably go with it.
Let's see. Mike Smith says Darius Slayton or Julian Edelman or Jarvis Landry, pick one. Sticking with that Julian Edelman, I was just talking about Julian Edelman in that matchup against Denver. I think that's a good one here. Lucas Wysocki says start 2, Juju, Shark, A.J. Brown. Johnny, I'm going to go A.J. Brown and Juju here.
Yeah. If I have a pivot off of Chark with Juju anytime, I'm going to do that today.
Let's see.
Manuel Gomez
says Big Travie needs a mic like Johnny Game Time. So I have a mic. What's happening right now is the internet for Spectrum in LA has been kind of we'll say doo-doo, for lack of a better word. And so I've got the AirPods in right now. So I appreciate you guys sticking with us with the sound quality, but
it will be fixed soon. We just are waiting for internet issues to help out.
Yeah, we'll get that lined up. JGX Hoopa says Claypool or Mostert in the flex. I'd like to know if this is PPR, but this for me, it's standard. He reiterated. JGX Hoopa, standard. I would go with Mostert. I think.
I'm going Mostert.
I think Mostert's just been really good, especially in standard scoring. Oh, look at this. Canyon OK Squad says Freeman or Allen Robinson, standard scoring, Johnny.
Allen Robinson. Oh, yeah. I'm going Allen Robinson. Carolina's corners are actually pretty decent, but Allen Robinson.
Carolina started this year really bad on defense, and they've gotten pretty good over the last couple games,
Yeah,
including
it's
against high offenses.
Yeah, like their widers are their corners are good. They're good cover corners. But once again, Allen Robinson he's a beast. He's so underrated. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. Matchup doesn't tend to really Nick Foles will target him. So I would still go with Allen Robinson this week, even though Freeman, I do like that matchup for him, but I would still go with Allen Robinson in this case. I do think that we missed a question here, Travis, real quick. I want to go. Manuel Gomez said DJ Moore or T. Higgins and Jared Goff or Andy Dalton, best channel, so underrated. We appreciate you. We appreciate you, Gomez, for saying that. I'll just quickly answer it, Travis, if you don't mind. I would go T. Higgins in this case, and then Jared Goff. Sounds kind of crazy. I just don't like the matchup for DJ Moore this week at all.
Brett Zabo says he had Slayton in the flex, switching him out with Edelman, hoping that my advice bites me in the A. You know what, dude? I don't appreciate you coming on my channel and slandering me, Zabo.
Hey, he's getting at you, man.
It's good. It's good. It's all in good fun. Going to be a good matchup. We'll see how that goes down. Go Crazy TV says Todd Gurley or Myles Gaskin or Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is the right answer here. Just continue. I know it's a tough matchup, but even in a tough matchup last week, playmaking ability and touchdowns got it done for Sanders, and that is still within his range of outcomes every week just because of how talented he is. So Pranav says trade CEH and Debo for Gurley, Gibson, and Jefferson, ? Full point PPR, 12-person team. His running backs are CEH, Montgomery, Cook, and Eckler. He wants to turn CEH and Debo for Gurley, Gibson, and Jefferson.
This is tough. I think I would do this, actually. I don't like the Todd Gurley. I would try to get away from him. Maybe get maybe turn around after this game and then get another piece off that. I do like the Gibson and Jefferson trade-off. CEH still is going to have value. We don't know that Le'Veon Bell will come and take a big chunk of this. It could be a 60-40 split. It could be, we're not sure on the split quite yet. And Debo is just getting healthy. So I think this is a very close trade. I don't mind it if you're getting Gurley, Gibson, and Jefferson. But I would try to get away from Gurley, try to flip Gurley after this week, if I do it.
So the question is Big Ben or Matt Stafford. The person asking that is Adam Young, and they're asking Stafford or Big Ben PPR. Look, I'm going to roll with Stafford here. I think Big Ben's been solid, but he's lived off of his wide receivers getting it done for him. That Jacksonville-Detroit game has the higher over-under by about 4 or 5 points. So more points to be had there. I think Stafford is coming back off this bye. He's looking good there. Not Dallas says Claypool or A.J. Brown. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Sorry. Frankie, yeah, so let's ask. Sorry. I'm jumping all over the place. Claypool or A.J. Brown, Johnny?
I would go A.J. Brown over Claypool.
All right. Frankie Wolf says James Washington, Greg Ward, or Amendola. I think I would roll with Greg Ward here. Just lack of weapons. He's going to be in the slot for Philly, which means he should avoid those good corners of Baltimore. So I think he's got a decent shot to get some volume today. Manuel, we answered that one. Not Dallas. We did that one. Gliz says Shark or Jonah at flex. I think we answered that one earlier for you, didn't we?
Yeah. I would go with. Oh no. He did. I
thought he asked about Jonah in the flex before. Oh, maybe it was Marquise Brown.
Oh, it was that's right.
Jonnu Smith, I think, would be my option here. Johnny's, kind of been banging the drum about pivoting off Shark because of the injury concern. So I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Ricky Bley says T.Y. Hilton or Adam Humphries this week, Johnny?
T.Y. Hilton. Wow. That's. I never thought I would be like, yeah, start T.Y. Hilton over someone. But, yeah, I would start T.Y. Hilton over Adam Humphries this week.
A gent opting out. What games will you guys be watching? Steelers, Browns, then Packers, Bucks, Rams, 49ers are his pick. Yeah, well, I like the Steelers, Browns game. Love that Packers, Bucks game. Obviously, the Sunday night football game is the Rams, Niners, so I'll be watching that one.
The truth is, we set up a bunch of TVs and we watch all of the games, and Red Zone is on as well.
I think that Chicago Carolina game is really interesting. It's one of the closest projected games. That one will be a one I'm keeping an eye on too.
Yeah.
Lucas says Anderson or McLaurin, Robbie Anderson or Terry McLaurin.
I would go.
Both have tough matchups this week.
Yeah, I would go
McLaurin will be on
in this.
Bradbury.
Yeah, and neither one are nice. With Fuller being on Robbie Anderson, I would just trust McLaurin just a little bit more in this situation. I think that he can get some garbage time stuff going. So I would go with McLaurin.
All right. Our next question is not Dallas says oh no, we did that one already.
Yeah.
AJ Brown or Claypool? Not Dallas. We're doing AJ Brown on that one. Okay. Proddy Jimmel says Robbie Anderson or Shark or Edelman, half-point PPR. I would go with Edelman here. I think better matchup of those three. I think he's going to end up leading New England in receiving today. I just think that's a good spot for him. Proddy Jimmel says Ayuk, John Brown, or Greg Ward.
Is John Brown playing? I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I believe I think he got full practices.
He did get full. Then I would go John Brown in this case over the other two options.
Yeah, he was practicing full on Friday.
Okay.
But he's questionable. So I think with a full practice, he's probably going to go.
Yeah, and then an extra day of rest because they don't play till tomorrow. I would roll the dice on John Brown. Gonna make the CEH and Debo for Gibson, Jefferson, and Gurley this week or next week. Thank you guys so much for the help. You guys are the best. Appreciate that.
I think you have a shot at. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. I think you have a shot at Gurley having another great game here. Oh, I guess you're acquiring Gurley, right?
Yeah. So they would be playing CEH this week, and
yeah, I would wait because CEH's best shot at volume with the Le'Veon Bell deal is this week, and maybe you can flip him and just get people to go like, hey, there's no way they don't give this guy the ball more if he does well, you know.
Unless let me ask you this: unless the person that's receiving CEH says, oh, well, now he's one closer week to getting Le'Veon Bell back, I'm going to diminish the value. And so this might be the only time. I think I would actually pull the trigger on this trade now, because I don't know that his value will go. I don't think his value will go up. Like, even if he has a really good game, which I do expect him to have a really good game this week, I don't think his value.
No, I don't think his value goes up. But Johnny, I think his perceived value could go up. Like, if he scores a couple touchdowns in this game against Buffalo,
yeah,
you could go to your league mate and say, look, there's no way they're not going to keep this dude on the field. Look at what he just did. Like,
yeah,
even with Le'Veon Bell in there. So maybe you have a shot at, like, getting a little bit more. Like you said, you don't like the Gurley part of that deal. What is this guy offering on the other end? Like, is there another back you could trade out for Gurley to get that deal done? So that's just my thought. I think either way, you're probably going to be good. I think Gibson's in line to get more and more work every week.
Yeah.
And look, we want to talk about how Gurley's not somebody who can make it all year, but he's getting it done right now.
I mean, he's an RB1 right now.
Yeah, what matters right now is points, you know?
Yeah, so.
GE72 says full point PPR, pick 3 wide receivers and a flex. Robert Woods, CeeDee Lamb, Adam Thielen, Galladay, Claypool, Scary Terry, and Connor.
Okay, well, I'm playing Connor for sure. And then I'm probably playing Galladay.
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Galladay, Thielen, and then the last receiver I would play would be Robert Woods over CD and Claypool and Scary Terry this week, right?
I think that Woods is going to get some treatment from that secondary in San Fran, and I actually think it's a Cooper Kupp and like one of the tight ends game. So I would be more.
I don't like the tight ends in this game at all.
I would be more inclined to see CD in your lineup over Woods just this week.
Okay.
But it is full point PPR. So I think Woods is the right answer on paper, but I just have a hunch that CD.
Yeah, I mean,
is the
CeeDee
right
Lamb
call
is going. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is definitely a safe choice here. I think. If Travis is correct, I mean, I think that you could be correct on the cut part, but I will tell you that I don't think the tight ends have a game. The San Francisco 49ers, if there's one position that they've been locking up, it's the tight end. They haven't allowed over 35 receiving yards once to the tight end position this year. So that's the only thing I'll say on that. But I think CD. I think okay. So CeeDee Lamb, it's CeeDee Lamb, Adam Thielen, Galladay, and Connor are the 4 that you should start. Ayuk rest of the season thoughts. It's gonna see. We'll have to see the rapport that he has. You have Deebo Samuel coming back. You know he has a rapport with Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, if Jimmy Garoppolo continues to play like he's been playing and they turn this over, then, that at that point, I think Brandon Ayuk becomes more interesting because we've seen the rapport that Ayuk has with CJ.
All right, so we've got Darius Slayton or T. Higgins for flex PPR.
T. Higgins.
I think I'm going to roll T. Higgins here. I think Higgins has been slowly just becoming the number one, at least on the outside, and he's the big body they like in the red zone. He's got a bunch of red zone looks already too. Alberto Lopez. What's that?
I just want to say, if you're new to our channel, there are 18 people watching. If you could hit us with a like, a thumbs up, we'd greatly appreciate it. And if you are like what you're seeing, you like this content, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you get notified anytime we put out new content, which is daily.
Yes, sir.
All right, you want to do a rapid reaction?
DJ Shark. Yeah, we can do that. Alberto Lopez says Shark, Henderson, or Brandon Cooks at the flex. Give me Brandon Cooks here. I think he's going to have a decent game this week, rolling off that usage last week. Frankie Wolf says PPR bench one. Johnny Gaskin, James Robinson, Mike Davis, Montgomery. I think Gaskin, right? Like you got to bench Gaskin here.
Yeah.
Sorry to steal your question there.
No. You're good. I was reading something else and I just.
Robert 3333 says Crowder, Jefferson, or Taylor start 2 full point PPR. Johnny.
Wow. I would go Taylor and Crowder. I like Jefferson. I'm going to go Jefferson and Taylor today on these two. I love Crowder. He's been tremendous. But you are getting Rashad Perriman back and so give me the Justin Jefferson against Atlanta. Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. Sit Amari Cooper this week? ? I have Mike Thomas and Mike Williams on bye, so I can only start Deebo over him. Other receivers are Crowder and Rob Anderson. Why would we be sitting him? I just don't know why you're sitting Amari Cooper. Like, because of the last week. Like, he was on Bradbury last week, who locked him down. I think Cooper is, like we've seen Andy Dalton make AJ Green a top 5 wide receiver. I think Amari Cooper is fine. Michael Thomas and Mike Williams on bye, so only start Deebo. Yeah, I wouldn't be starting Crowder or Robbie Anderson over Amari Cooper.
No.
Cole Lambert says, do I start Amari or Crowder at wide receiver 2? I know that Crowder has been killing it, but I just feel like Crowder is one of those things where it's a trap, like to quote Star Wars. Like at some point, the bottom will fall out on Jamison Crowder, and then you're going to be upset that you put him in your lineup over a guy like Amari Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be starting Amari Cooper with confidence. Yeah. Luke Churchill, Crowder FS. I don't know what that means. Troy asks if I forgot to pay the cable bill. No, it's just they told me it was the fires in LA or in California that screwed up the internet. It was dropping. We get the technician out here, and then he's like, "Oh, nothing's wrong with your internet."
Yeah, wait. So, first, you get the technician out after a month because that was the soonest that they could get someone.
That was the earliest they could come out.
And then they
tell me there's no problem. So I have to get my internet upgraded because that's what it is. It's just a racket around here. You know how that is. You know the vibes. Timmy Test says, which quarterback is most likely to get benched today? I need a backup.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, maybe Kyle Allen is probably the best bet to get benched. He got benched last week because he got hurt. They've
Yeah.
got offensive line issues. Maybe not full on bench, but taken out of the game. So I would go with that. Lurk Churchill says, liked and subscribe because I'm not a he's not a D, he says. Appreciate you, Luke. Appreciate you, Luke. Getting in there. He says, I like the Devontae Adams jersey. Me too. Hopefully, 17 is back today. Let's get a big one. A gent opting out. How come you guys aren't drinking cold beers and eating barbecue? Games start in less than an hour.
Oh, we're about to.
There's a gent opting out. I've got some cold ones brewing right now. And I think we're gonna do like some quesadillas today. We're gonna do some chips and homemade guacamole. The roommate Carol, she's working that up right now.
Nice.
So I'm ready for that. So don't you worry about our bellies. We're getting those full today. Brandon S says, "What's up, guys?
What's up,
Brandon S? One of the day ones over here says Cam Newton or Andy Dalton. You're rolling Cam Newton. That rushing upside is there, and he's going to be their goal line back. He has been every game he's been in there. Young Siggy says, tough one this week. McLaurin, CD, or Hollywood in the flex.
Going CD.
Yeah, I think McLaurin's just got such a tough matchup with Bradbury. We've seen him capitalize on tough matchups before, but I just don't trust it right now. Rockout says Gallup, Lindsay, flex, full point PPR. Gallup or Lindsay in the flex, full point PPR. I'd go with Lindsay just because we know he's starting this week, and I think he'll get some of the passing game work as they try to get back in that game. Woods or Claypool non-PPR. Give me Claypool in standard. I'm kind of concerned about Woods' matchup in standard. I would roll PPR. I would lean Woods, but I think Claypool's going to be used again in a big way this week. Jimmy, Jimmy says, which two should I play? Amari Cooper, Robbie Anderson, Cooper Kupp, Antonio Gibson. Johnny, why don't you take that one?
I would play it. Is this a PPR? If this is a PPR, I would play Amari Cooper and Cooper Kupp. I think even if this is a standard, I would probably play those two. Antonio Gibson is definitely interesting, but I'm going to assume that this is a PPR, so I would go with those two.
Elliot Means says Lindsay or Peterson in standard.
Lindsay, Philip Lindsay. Peterson is dealing with some stuff. They say he's supposed to get his normal workload, but I'm going to call it here right now at 9:29 a.m. on October 18th, Travis. This is going to be the Swift breakout game because he is going to light it up today.
We will see
in front of the millions and millions of people across the world.
Oh, dude! Yesterday I was like, I dropped a video.
I hope you were going to do that.
Record. I dropped a video for our league of record, just talking smack on my opponents and some of that stuff. But anyways, to get hyped for this video, Johnny and Whisper Nation, I watched Ric Flair's greatest interviews, the YouTube collection of that, and boy, was it was woo!
Dude, so good.
It was amazing, dude. Love that stuff. Little backlog there. Pranav says, who does better this week, CEH and Chenault or Gurley and Gibson/Jefferson? Well, let's say I'm going to pick. We'll do wide receiver running back combo. So CEH and Chenault, Johnny, or Gurley and Jefferson?
Hold on.
I think that goes.
Where is this? I'm so
no,
lost.
They're just saying who does better. It's like who do you think scores
got it. I think
the combo of CEH and Chenault or the combo of Gurley and Jefferson.
Oh, I think Gurley and Jefferson does better than CEH and Chenault. Now that Chark is active. If Chark wasn't active, then I would maybe think that this would be a breakout game for Chenault.
Taste the Skittles says Darius Slayton. Okay. Look, I like big play Slayton, man. He's a guy. He's a hell of a player. Troy says John Brown, the kicker, is playing. Never kicked a football in college, and he's in the NFL. Yeah, he's a former soccer player. A wild story coming there out of Jacksonville. A gent opting out says tight end Higbee is due against San Fran, but I'm starting Gesicki against the Jets. Absolutely, and Higbee has had to deal with Everett over the last couple of weeks too, coming in and eating some of that. Johnny pointed out San Fran good against the tight end. Luke Churchill, Mark Andrews over under 30 this week.
I hope he goes over. I hope he goes over because I got Mark Andrews in every league. So
it's a tight end. I'm gonna take the under just to be safe here.
Yeah.
Zabo says lots of Woods hate. Should I be playing Slayton above him?
No.
I wouldn't play Slayton above him. I just think that Woods, some of the questions we've had, I'm leaning against Woods only because I think, you look at what San Fran did last week against Devontae Parker. They kind of bracketed Parker and they gave up more to Preston Williams. And I think that's what this defense is trying to do since they're missing some pieces. And they're trying to focus on who they can take out. And I think Woods will be somebody that they'll try to target to take out, what?
You think that they would take
plays for the Niners.
Yeah, what am I saying?
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
I don't know.
Thinking. Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what I'm saying here.
Brandon says Ric Flair. Woo! Yep.
Yeah.
Taste the Skittles. We're going to run through these last few ones, guys. We got to hop off of here. Taste the Skittles. Darius Slayton and Devontae Freeman or T. Higgins and Darius Slayton? I have Russell on a bye this week. Okay, let's answer that first one. I would go with Devontae Freeman and T. Higgins here.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
That's what I would do.
I have Russell on a bye this week. Who do I stream, Stafford or Minshew? Definitely Stafford here. I think he's going to have a great game. And then the defense stream is Dolphins or Titans. Dolphins. Those Jets are the number one matchup. You want to get that in your lineup there.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon S. says, also one more question, standard. Gibson or Drake? Johnny.
I'm going Drake.
I'll let you take that one.
I'm going Drake on this one.
Pranav says, absolute legends. Thanks for everything. Thank you, Pranav. Appreciate you. Luke Churchill, he's the GOAT. Yep, yes, sir. LaCrouse says, should I start Mostert or Woods at the flex? Full point PPR. Give me Mostert here.
Yeah.
I think he continues to be really good for San Fran. Trey S, full point PPR. Brandon Cooks or Devin Singletary?
I'm going to go Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, give me Cooks. Zach Moss is due back this week, so could eat into Singletary's value. Brandon S, thanks, guys. Have a good game day. You as well, Brandon. You guys know so much about football. Does it limit your brains in other areas of your life? Absolutely not. I'm a huge fan of philosophy. I also have plants. I like to paint. Johnny, my man over there, he sells cards. This guy gets into all sorts of – he's a video editing wizard. We know a lot of things, man. Don't limit yourself. Get out there and be somebody with your lives. Whisper Nation, for Johnny Game Time Hicks, I'm Big Travie. You guys have a good Sunday. We're out. Peace.
Good luck today. Like and subscribe.